The Club of Developing Economies is growing for the second time. South America, Egypt, Iran, and Ethiopia on January 1st, 2024. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates will become one country. Ties together five of the most important rising economies, the country Brazil, India, and Russia. People often point to China and South Africa as a sign of the change in global economic power from the developed to the emerging economies, which began in the mid-2000s. BRICS has become more important not only economically, but also nationally. In a groundbreaking move, 6 countries are about to join the group, starting a new chapter in its history. The country of Ethiopia, South America, Iran, the country of Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates are about to join, which will have major effects on the world stage. This BRICS Plus model is a new way to look at the group's dynamics and a reaction to the way the world economy is changing. The arrival of these 6 countries shows that non-traditional powers are becoming more important in the world's economic and political arena. Each of these countries is important in its own way. Ethiopia has one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. Its growth is a mix of smart public investments and a growing private sector. Ethiopia is a good example of what sub-Saharan Africa hopes for and what it can be. Even though Argentina's economy is struggling, it is a major player in South America and has a diverse economy, so it makes sense that it would be linked to BRICS. Iran, which is strategically put and has a lot of oil and gas reserves, is an energy giant. Its presence can change the way oil and gas are used in geopolitics. Saudi Arabia is already a key player in the world's energy markets, and Vision 2030 is a plan to move the country's economy away from oil. Collaborations in science and new ideas. Egypt, which has the most people of any Arab country and is home to the Suez Canal, can serve as a link between Africa and Asia. The Mediterranean and the Middle East, UAE, has become a global center for trade, banking, and tourism. It has a mix of East and West, which makes it a key player in world affairs. With the addition of the 6 new countries, BRICS Plus has a huge amount of economic promise. The bloc will make up a big chunk of the world's people and GDP. This would make BRICS Plus a counterweight to the G7 or even the G20. The larger group will have a big impact on trade talks, monetary policies, and investment moves around the world. The new members have different economic strengths, and Saudi Arabia and Iran can help the group make sure it has enough oil. The UAE's financial centers can become a place where the economies of BRICS Plus countries can work together. Argentina's skill in farming, Ethiopia's growing manufacturing sector, and Egypt's strategic location can help trade and business in a number of ways. The politics of BRICS Plus have become more complicated since new members have joined. Even though the first 5 members didn't always agree, they all shared a view of an alternative world order that is multi-polar and more fair, with Middle Eastern nations included. The bloc will now have a direct stake in one of the world's most dangerous areas. This could lead to a more coordinated effort to build peace, or it could cause divisions. Also, countries like Saudi Arabia and Iran are now part of the bloc. Historic enemies in the Middle East could make it hard to come to an agreement, but the fact that these countries are willing to be in the same economic bloc shows that they are willing to work together and put economic interests ahead of political rivalries. The BRICS Plus expansion makes the group's national and social mix even more varied. The admission of countries like Saudi Arabia that are mostly Muslim, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates, as well as countries with a Christian majority, Ethiopia and Argentina, add a lot of different cultures, religions, and customs to the bloc. There's a lot of room for cultural exchange, tourism, and people contacts. This could help break down stereotypes and promote peace through cultural diplomacy. The growth of BRICS Plus is not without problems. The more people in a group, the more different their hobbies will be, and the harder it might be for them to agree on something. Regional conflicts and different points of view on global problems can be sources of conflict, but the whole point of BRICS was to challenge the status quo and give a different story. In the same way, the growth can be seen as a way to change global dynamics to make it more inclusive, more representative, and more fair. The start of BRICS Plus is more than just a business alliance. It also marks the beginning of a new era of diplomacy. With a bigger job, the alliance will definitely become a place to talk about important issues. Climate change, sustainable development, international crime, and cybersecurity are all global problems that need to be solved. Due to the wide variety of political and economic systems around the world, the platform can be a place for helpful conversation and mutual understanding. The ability for BRICS countries to learn from each other is unprecedented. For example, Ethiopia could learn a lot from Brazil's experiences with sustainable agriculture, and the UAE could learn from China's technology advances. BRICS Plus is known for how good they are with technology. China has the most advanced technology. Together, India's IT industry, Russia's space and military technology, technology, and the UAE's focus on AI and clean energy make up a powerhouse of innovation. Argentina, a country known for its biotechnological breakthroughs in agriculture, was added to the group. Saudi Arabia's push for tech-based energy and solutions and Iran's science community makes the bloc skills better as a whole, combining their resources for joint study projects, sharing technological solutions to world problems, and working together on space and defense are all ways to do this. Technologies can give the bloc a big advantage when it comes to setting trends for the future. Another avenue where bricks and mortar can be used to make it with countries like Brazil, which is part of the Amazon rainforest, and Saudi Arabia, which is planting a lot of trees in the desert. There's a chance for environmental conservation and sustainable growth. Meaningful collaborations. The partnership can pave the way for shared solutions to fight desertification, deforestation, and biodiversity loss. Also, joint projects on water conservation, renewable energy, and sustainable urbanization can set a good example of how to work together in a meaningful way. World standards. There are a lot of young people in the BRICS plus nations. There is an urgent need and a huge amount of promise for collaborations in education and skill development. Universities in India can benefit from study partnerships, student exchange programs, and training for jobs. China, Russia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates (UAE) can all become study and academic hubs for the rest of the bloc. The opportunity for BRICS plus to work together in trade and infrastructure is huge. With their different economic and military strengths, member countries can start big infrastructure projects that make it easier for them to connect with each other. The importance of these projects goes beyond their economic value because they can also show the unity and shared vision of the alliance. For example, the development of multimodal transportation corridors connecting the ports of Brazil and South Africa to the busy markets of China and India, or connecting the vast energy resources of Iran and Saudi Arabia to the consumption centers of Russia and China, can be transformational. There is a lot of opportunity for financial cooperation in BRICS Plus. China has already shown that it is willing and able to invest in large infrastructure projects abroad with its Belt and Road Initiative. The BRICS New Development Bank can expand its operations to include more projects from the new member countries. There is also the possibility of creating a BRICS Plum financial fund to help member countries in times of economic crisis. Also, countries like the UAE, which has the financial centers of Dubai and Abu Dhabi, can be a key part of the group's financial unity because they can act as channels for money to flow. Investments provide tools for bricks and mortar-based financial institutions, and may even think about launching a single payment system or digital currency for the bloc. The expanded bloc will also have effects on security and defense because the member countries are spread out over a large area and face problems like counter-terrorism and cyber threats. There is a good chance that security cooperation will be improved and joint military drills will be held. Sharing intelligence and working together on defense research and development are both possible, but they will need to be handled carefully due to the sensitive nature of defense agreements and the possible worries of countries outside the bloc. It will be a test of the diplomatic skills of BRICS Plus to balance these alliances while keeping good relations with other global powers. What makes this alliance stand out is its diversity and possibility for mutual growth. If BRICS Plus is successful, it could set a precedent in international diplomacy by showing how different countries can work together to bridge their differences and grow together. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. Until our next episode, stay curious, stay informed. This is Geopolitics Talks, signing off.